This program is proudly brought to you by PNG Motors, Gizal International Hotel, and Telecom Limited.
Good evening, folks. We're back with another episode of Sports Scene. I am your host, Jaylee Sapies.
And I am Denzel Apelis. Always good to have you back on another show of Sports Scene.
All right, before we get started, how has the past week been?
Oh, it's been crazy. I was really looking forward to the Origin lineups that were coming up, and now it has come out. We have Dylan Edwards in fullback, Reece Walsh is back, and the coach, Blues coach, literally said that there's a target on him when he was asked about. He was like, the strategy doesn't change. Reece Walsh is a key player, so he still has a target on him. So for me, the past week, it's been all about Origin for me. I'm excited about Origin, yeah.
All right, before we get into it, let's see what's coming up on tonight's show. We speak to para-athlete Mana Tapari about the Paralympics Paris 2024 and her preparations. We get an update from the PNG NRL Bids Junior Elite Program. We speak to Associate Professor Dr. Shube Shepang about sports psychology. And we revisit the Kokoda Boxing Challenge, highlighting Warren Warupi's return to boxing. But of course, before we get into all that, let's take a quick recap. Denzel?
Just an interesting weekend, a long weekend with the King's birthday, but let's take a look at the weekend scoreline, starting off with the NRL Round 15. The Dolphins beat the Sharks 30 points to 28. On Friday, the Cowboys beat the Raiders 34 points to 16. Rabbitohs with a win against the Broncos 22 points to 12, and some people say that's why Cobo is not in the lineup for this Origin game too. On Saturday, West Tigers defeated the Titans 18 points to 10. Storms defeated the Warriors 38 points to 24. Roosters 28 points defeating the Eels 18 points. And on Sunday, Seagulls defeated the Dragons 38 points to 14. And the Panthers defeated the Knights 26 points to 18. We had the Bulldogs on bye. Moving on to the Host Plus Cup. On Saturday, Tigers defeated the Bears 24 to 20. Cutters defeated Jets 30 points to 16. And we also had the Devils, Blackhawks, the WM Seagulls and Pride. They all came out on top, defeating the Seagulls, Magpies, Capras and Clydesdale. Now for this round we had the Falcons versus the Hunters, but that round 14 match for our SP Hunters has been rescheduled to July 21st next month. Super Rugby Pacific semi-finals. That one was crazy. Now, Blues defeated the Brumbies 34 points to 20. It was an intense game, and Chiefs defeated the Hurricanes 30 points to 19. So we have the Blues and the Chiefs qualifying to the grand final. And that concludes our weekend scorelines. Yeah, pretty exciting what's happening with rugby. And yeah, moving forward.
All right, and on to the sport of cricket. The PNG Barramundis T20 World Cup campaign has ended after the Barras faced New Zealand in their final match of the 2024 ICC Men's T20 World Cup at Brian Lara Stadium in Trinidad. New Zealand, opting to bowl first, restricted them to 78 runs. Despite early breakthroughs by Kabua Morea, New Zealand chased down the target comfortably, with Kane Williamson and Devon Conway leading the way. The Barramundis, although winless in the World Cup, earned admiration for their passionate efforts throughout the tournament. And can I just say that New Zealand are out, PNG are out, Uganda are out.
Yep, we have West Indies and what's the other team? Afghanistan. They're all moving into the next stage of the World Cup. Well done, Barras. We'll work on it. World Cup, not bad. They made it into the World Cup, so yeah, cool.
All right, and on to FIFA. FIFA Women's World Ranking. It's been nearly 3 months since the last FIFA Coca-Cola Women's World Ranking update, with 154 international football matches played during that time. Qualifiers for the Women's Olympic Football Tournament Paris 2024 were held in Africa, and UEFA Women's Euro 2025 qualifiers took place in Europe. Spain remains at the top, but France moved up to second, displacing England. Germany climbed to fourth, ahead of the United States in fifth. Canada, Brazil, and Korea DPR also moved up, pushing the Netherlands out of the top 10 for the first time in 7 years. Okay, that's it for our quick recaps, but some good news now for NRL South Sydney Rabbitohs fans. Alex Johnston is now the greatest try scorer for the South Sydney Rabbitohs club. Johnston has now scored 191 tries, just behind 21 behind Ken Irvin's record that many thought would never be broken.
Wow, that is amazing. And you know what? I just want to say that, like, to you Blues supporters out there, don't you guys think that Alex Johnston should have been more involved with the state of origin in terms of like being part of the Blues? In 2015, he was there in the lineup, but they never really made use of him. And there were more players that are coming from like different heritage. I don't know what's happening with you Blues, but I don't mind though. I'm Maroons, I'm Queensland all the way, so I'm Said Dubla. Like, we've got Komos playing in Maroons, so I don't know what you Blues supporters are doing out there, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm just saying, come over and support us Maroons, you know. We are doing the right thing. Anyway, morals. But apart from that, it's time for a quick break. We've said so much. So after the break, we will return to meet one of our esteemed para-athletes, Mana Tapari. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. Mana Tapari is a 25-year-old para-athlete who is currently in training for the 2024 Paris Paralympics. We had a chat with her to see how she prepares for the biggest event of her life. Meet Mana Tapari. She's a 25-year-old para-athlete, specifically in the sport of athletics and taekwondo, and she recently qualified to participate at the Paris 2024 Paralympics in both sports.
Hi, my name is Mana Tapari. I'm 25 of age and I'm from Central and Western. For athletics, I got qualified last year down at Solomon Islands during the Pacific Games. So I qualified for javelin and shot put. And then for taekwondo, just recently, we went down to Solomon. But for taekwondo, it was like a walkthrough qualification because I didn't have an opponent to fight with. So it was like a walkthrough qualification for me.
Mana suffers from a condition she sustained from a house fire she was involved in when she was only 6 years old. Her injuries are a result of being locked up in the house with two of her brothers while it was set on fire. Mana, while on fire, was wrapped in a piece of cloth and tossed out the window by her older brother.
My big brother that passed, he always he was always like by my side wherever, anywhere we go, everywhere we go. Like no matter people, like they always talk back. Say you were not like this, so you just stay. Don't bother. Just we are all normal. We are all the same. So God gave you the gift, so you must make use of it.
Her journey to the Olympics is not something she always dreamed of.
I am training hard, really hard for both, because I'm going down to take part in 3 events, which is taekwondo, javelin, and shot put, and I am training really hard. Looking forward to it.
The 25-year-old only began playing sports 2 years ago, but since then has discovered her new love for it.
My biggest goal is to make my country proud, my family, and at least get a medal and then come back home.
The young woman, who will be participating in the 65 kg division of Taekwondo, last year took part in the Pacific Games in Solomon Islands and remains grateful for her experience there.
For athletics, I've trained really hard for it. It was tough, but when we went down to the Pacific Games, it was like I already knew, so I got qualified for javelin and shot put. And then for taekwondo, I didn't have an opponent, so it was like easy for me just to walk through qualification.
With the Paris 2024 Olympics less than 2 months away, Manega is excited and ready to perform.
I'd like to thank my family and then my friends for always being there for me. Yeah, to support me. Yeah, thank you. I would like to at least dedicate my sports, dedicate this to my brother, my late brother, which he passed last year, and it was like a tough year for me. And then when I got qualified, it was like the happiest moment. And I'd like to acknowledge the young ones, not to feel shy, not to stay at home, at least come out, try new sport, try new things, and then get to know new friends. It's fun and it's nice.
Following talks of PNG as the 18th team in the NRL, the PNG NRL board has placed an elite junior program for young Papua New Guineans. Let's take a look. One year ago, the PNG NRL launched the NRL Bid Academy. This program started with only one academy, but 12 months down the line, there are now 6 academies across Papua New Guinea participating in the Elite Junior Player Development Program.
Everyone knows the importance of player pathways and development. There's not a club in the NRL that doesn't have successful pathways, and it's vitally important. Our own Prime Minister Marape, spoke recently about the importance of academies and development and pathways, and giving young boys and girls in PNG the opportunity to achieve their dream of playing in the NRL and the NRLW.
Following a pilot program in 2023, the PNG NRL Bid launched the successful development program.
It's a fundamental training program which captures the basic grip, carry, catch, pass. It's a holistic program, not only looking after things that on the field, but some things off the field.
This program will run till mid-July and will see all 6 academies meet in Goroka next month for a rugby development tournament.
In week 10 of a 18-week program, which the older age groups then transition everything they've learned in the 18-week program, the school championships in Goroka.
I'd like to thank the PNG government, the Australian government and Kumul Petroleum Holdings, who have provided funding to bring those 12 teams to Goroka. Not only will they be playing games, but they'll be undertaking education and welfare courses to better understand what's required to become an elite sports person in the NRL competition.
Okay, and that's it, the Elite Junior Program for young Papua New Guineans trying to develop rugby league.
Honestly, that is a really good way to go. Like, everyone's talking about not having, like, you know, what's it called, like a program in place for the juniors, like a pathway. That's what Justin Olam said in the beginning when talks about the NRL bid came in. Now, these type of things are happening, and there's a lot of programs in place, but this one is the elite program. So 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds moving up to 2028 when the bid is successful, not if, when the bid is successful.
Yes.
And when that happens, I'm pretty sure we can have the right players in place, especially locally homegrown players.
Definitely. We're into week 10 now of this program, so we've got 6 more weeks. And it's looking good.
Definitely. So we can expect some kind of legends coming from Papua New Guinea. And speaking of that, we also have Cooper Bai, Marcus Bai's son, the Melbourne Storms legend, Kumul. And Marcus Bai, I'm talking about Marcus Bai. His son is in the under-19 team for the Queensland State of Origin. That's going to be happening. And we must definitely keep up to date because someone like him, Marcus Bai's son, definitely, clean one. He's already in that PNG NRL team. I'm just going to say that. But we look forward to that in the in 2028 when that eventuates. But it's time for another break. And when we return, we delve into the world of sports psychology. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. You're watching Sports Scene. Now, when it comes to training, development, and performance, the physical part of things are typically the focus. Athletes train, they get physically fit, and improve skills to perform to the best of their ability. And we also know that mindset is important. But what does that really mean? Tonight, we'll be looking more deeper into sports science, considering the mental aspects of sports as we meet Dr. Shubha Shepang, PhD in sports psychology. Let's have a look.
Coaches, athletes and sports administrators from various sporting codes had the privilege of participating in a 2-day education session last week at the Taurama Aquatic Centre. The education sessions were facilitated by sports psychologist Dr. Shubha Shepang, an associate professor from the University of Botswana. The aim was to prepare coaches and athletes for the upcoming Paris Olympics and the Mini Pacific Games in Palau next year.
My name is Tsube. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Sports Science at the University of Botswana. I'm from Botswana. I'm here to really do two things. One is to do an anti-doping research project with Asiani at the Olympic Committee, and then also use this time to run coach education programs and do sports psychology work. So generally, I do a lot of applied sports psychology work, and kind of sports psych is what I do a lot. Yeah.
The sessions, successfully organized by the PNG Olympic Committee, commenced last Thursday. They focused on the role of psychology in athlete development for coaches, followed by a session on Friday for athletes centered around the performance pyramid and key skills.
Yeah, so yesterday I gave a lecture on the importance of sports psychology to athlete development. So in terms of athlete development, we need to develop a person. Then we can find an athlete in that, and you use a holistic approach to athlete development. So sports psychology is a crucial component of it. A lot of times athletes train, but they do physical training a lot, and then a little bit is spent toward mental training. So it's important that both of those are developed. So I spent a lot of time discussing that with coaches yesterday, and then focusing on specific mental skills, including concentration, was one of the crucial skills we worked on yesterday. So yeah.
According to the professor, sports science and psychology are vital when it comes to athlete development and performance.
If you're very nervous, it affects how you are able to perform. If you're very confident or not so confident, it affects how you are able to perform. So it's very, very important that even from a young age, athletes are taught mental skills so that they can be able to use that to enhance their athletic performance.
Dr. Shubha also shared his thoughts and recommendations on sports in PNG.
But one thing that I noticed that people really love sports here, which is great. That's kind of where you want to start. And everyone is very patriotic, which is what you want. Everyone you talk about, they speak great of the country. So you want people in the country to love their country and want to represent it at major games. Things that I believe should improve includes if you could focus more on educating sports administrators, coaches. For example, athlete development expertise, you need someone at least with a PhD in exercise physiology, clinical exercise physiology, sports psychology, sports pedagogy, sports sociology. So if you could do your best to get people trained minimum at a PhD level in those areas, and then continue to develop those, then it allows you to say, okay, these people who have this high level training, then they can use contextual knowledge from PNG to develop programs that are contextually relevant to PNG. So providing that training would be very fundamental. Also in schools, in universities, sports-related studies should be introduced if they're not already there, because those expertise are crucial for sports development.
During the sessions, there were many insightful questions from high-performance coaches and athletes, highlighting the ongoing need to delve deeper into the mental and psychological aspects of sports. These sessions were crucial for the attendees, signaling a positive step towards further development across all aspects of sports within the country.
It's been great being here, and I admire their commitment to sports development, and the hospitality has been great, and thanks a lot for the privilege to be here. Thank you.
A privilege there for coaches, athletes, and sports administrators during those sessions. So a lot to learn when it comes to the mental aspects of sports, especially in our country. Now moving on, we revisit boxing, highlighting Pacific Games silver medalist Warren Warupi as he made his comeback to the code of boxing during the well-accomplished Kokoda Boxing Challenge, which took place a few months ago. Let's have a look.
Meet Warren Warupi, the 2017 PNG Games gold medalist and 2019 Pacific Games silver medalist who made his comeback to the PNG Boxing Union in the Kokoda Boxing Challenge a few months ago at the Laman Gold Club.
Name me Warren Warupi, me block Central Province Law Kariku, Harlik Flash Premium, issue na move.
A total of 5 years outside the boxing ring, Warupi's performance during his 71 kg bout against Liu Shen of Victoria showed that the 27-year-old still has more to offer.
Long time I've been step out the league. Pacific Games 2019. I've been layoff 2021, 22, 23 I'm layoff, I'm stop. So beginning blow 2024 early load this year, like February, March, I'm come back in. Boxing Union calling me come back in. Stand to the team na train. I'm coming to 2 months preparation plan. I'm up to date lower training plan.
Warupi fought hard with his power-packed punches, giving Liu Shen a challenging bout.
So me no expect mo sempa me take part na. Me kirap no go tol just match me one time Victoria.
Well-decorated Olympian and assistant coach Jack Willie further commended Warupi for his performance during the Kokoda Boxing Challenge.
Something still of blood. So time comes in training, I'm look fit. So how I play los la Kokoda Cup, I'm playing good la game straight. Yeah, skills are missed up.
Warren expressed gratitude as he shared his thoughts on what it was like being back in the ring.
Lima mas ko come back and stop one time team can. Me mas ko come back and na stop one time coach for me too side time been starting me.
Warren lost to Liu Shen by split decision, but it was clear to the audience who the powerhouse was. In addition to Liu Shen's statement saying, and I quote, "He almost ripped my nose off."
He got the lily goal failure blame, and me plan now by walk blame, correct him lo, or Billy me up can lodge lol, lily failure blame, when me plan look him lo sla, cover a cup and fight on bench lo, opponent blame lo, Victoria.
Warren aims to excel in the amateur division before moving to professional boxing.
Always good to see how our athletes are doing out there, especially the ones who have achieved something for the country internationally. And as they look forward to making more comebacks, and sports is developing in all aspects. So yeah, it's good to see our athletes, trying to get back, especially the ones who are still in their prime. Yeah.
Yes. Good to see them develop their code and grow. It's always exciting to see that.
Definitely.
All right, don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll be back to wrap things up.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. Now let's take a quick look at our weekend previews right before we wrap up the show. Now let's start off with the NRL Round 16. Tomorrow night, Dolphins versus the Storms, followed by Saturday's matches, Titans versus the Warriors, Roosters versus Bulldogs, Rabbitohs versus the Seagulls, and on Sunday, West Tigers and Raiders close off the NRL Round 15. We have a lot of teams on by. Broncos, Cowboys, Dragons, Eels, Knights, Panthers, and Sharks are on by for this weekend. Host Plus Cup Round 15, the Pride versus the Blackhawks on Saturday, Capras versus Cutters, Dolphins versus WM Seagulls, Falcons versus Clydesdale, and on Sunday, Magpies versus Devils, Bears versus Seagulls, and we have our SP Hunters on bye with the Jets and Tigers. Super Rugby Pacific Grand Final, Blues versus the Chiefs on Saturday, people. So yeah, that's what we have coming up this weekend.
All right, before we go, if you have a sports-related story you'd like us to cover, please contact us on 312-9229, or you can Facebook us, email us, or drop by our office at Level 2 Garden City here in Port Moresby. Okay, but that's it for tonight's show.
Yes, we've enjoyed your company.
We hope you enjoyed ours.
Definitely.
We'll be back same place, same time next week, right here on your number one to watch. Good night from Sports Scene.
This program was proudly brought to you by PNG Motors, Gizal International Hotel, and Telecom Limited.